Hello YouTube, this is Robert Holloway, your astrologer, and this is part 2 of the video that I was making. My recent video I was talking more about how the zodiac signs affect, the influence of the zodiac signs do not have an impact as much as the planets that are ruling your chart. Uh, in this video I'd like to talk more about the houses, or what I like to call the heavens. Um, The first house, which basically holds your ascendant, it's the house that you show to the world. It's how you relate to others. It's what people see you as. So whatever zodiac sign is in that house will portray to the world. Um, Personally, I have Virgo as the rising sign, and people always mistakenly think that I'm well, a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist. I am a slob, but that's how the world sees me. Um, the rising sign doesn't really determine your true personality. It's just how people see you as, or what you portray to the world. It's a mask basically. The second house is what you value most. It's where your possessions. For example, uh, uh, let's say that you have Scorpio in the second house. That means that when it comes to your possession, you like things that are dark or has a taboo attached to it. There's more like a mysterious, mystical, uh, occultic type of dark intensity. It's all or nothing type of thing, and that's how you feel towards your belongings. Someone who has, let's say, a moon in Scorpio, for example, in the second house. Usually, these people get things from their mother or a mother figure or even a female friend. It has to be a female, a maternal female in that person's life that gets these dark objects. So probably you have a witch who gave you a pentacle for your birthday and you treasure that most. Okay? That's an example of having a moon in Scorpio in the second house. But if let's look at a more brighter side of it. Let's say all right, let's say you have Jupiter in Virgo in the second house. Well, that indicates that you have, wow, that could lead to many directions. When I see Jupiter in Virgo, it indicates that you are extremely abundant, because that's what Jupiter is, abundance. You are extremely abundant when it comes to, and Virgo says, service. So how can we relate that? How can we put something that is abundance, Jupiter, to something that is of service, Virgo? And how does that relate to how what you treasure most, or how you treat your possessions? It could go in so many directions. One direction would be like medicine. You collect medicine and you value medicine too much. You probably have more than one Advil in your cabinets, or that's just an example. It's just That's what an astrologer do. They get these three elements, not the fire, water, earth, and air, but they get these three aspects of that combination, and they determine, hey, what does this person value most? Well, obviously, whatever's in the second house is what they value most. How they value it would determine the zodiac sign. What part of their life, or what part of their personality is based on the planet. Okay, I have to I have to use myself as an example. Okay, I have Libra. I have Pluto in Libra in the second house, which is kind of it could be both ways because this tells me that the the only way I could find fortune is by recycled goods. It could also say that my value, which is the second house, is there's a sense of a balance, which is Libra, a sense of not taking sides or anything like that, um, and it's Pluto. Usually, in a bad note, Pluto in the second house is usually like drug dealers or drug sellers. They sell things that are taboo, thus Pluto, that are rather dangerous or illegal. Um, but you can also look at it as another way. What they value most is things that are deep within the earth. Pluto also represents mineralogy. And that's what I valued most, which I think is pretty wicked. I mean, every time I think of it, it gives me goosebumps. I collect gemstones. I love rocks and minerals and everything, but because it's Pluto, I think they have mystical and magical powers behind them, as well as a scientific thing. In fact, I also practice alchemy, which is that area, but that's enough about me. That's just an example. The third house, um, that's the part in which we communicate, uh, what we learn and how we communicate to the world. Um, I'm going to throw this out. Let's say a sun in Pisces in the third house. Okay. The sun, which is the ego, the egocentric personality of our nature, the me, that's what the sun is in the sign of Pisces, which is more of a spiritual and, you know, woe is me and um, let's sing a lullaby type of zodiac sign. But that's in the third house. People with this combination are soft spoken, very sweet, sentimental. I wouldn't be amazed if these people are singers. I need more investigation on that, see if I'm right about that. But just for the sake of argument, they're likely to be singers. Okay. As opposed to somebody who, let's say, Mars, which is aggressive and fearful, is in the sign of Gemini in the third house. Well, these people are blunt. No, let me say Mars in Sagittarius, yes, extremely blunt. If you know someone who has Mars and Sagittarius in the third house, these people will say, "Oh man, that dress makes you look ugly." They're that blunt. They're so harsh in what they're saying, even they don't mean anything to it. It's just the way they communicate. It's the way they learn, and it's the way they show to the world. The fourth house, or fourth heaven, um, is more of a domestic area of our life. Whatever is in that house determines how we decorate, how we treat our environment, our immediate environment, our wherever we're dwelling. Um, let's say, and I don't mean to use my chart again, but that's the only one I'm basing on this. Um, I have Sagittarius. Yes, I have Sagittarius in the fourth house, and I also have Neptune in the fourth house. Uh, People with this combination are likely to be more of a eccentric, I guess, um, more like Neptune is more of a spiritual, illusional type of thing. So these people will probably feel more ghosts, so to speak, more illusions around their home area. Um, that's true on my part. I have a fear of going to sleep. I have what I call hypno whatever. But let's forget about that for a moment. Let's look at let's say that someone has the moon in Aries in the fourth house. The moon in Aries in the fourth house. Now, even though the moon is comfortable in the fourth house because they're both about domestic things, Aries kind of bring a little friction into the combination. You know, it's like you're 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 in the slot machine and you got 7-7 and then you get a freaking cherry. That's how I see it that way. It's like, ah, damn it. But no, let's look at the moon in Aries first of all. These people, when it comes to their emotions or their memories, they're very uh, they rather get upset about their memories, or they get intensely aware of their past, and they get somewhat aggressive or competitive, or because of Aries. Aries is very competitive, and having the moon in that sign makes their emotion somewhat fierce. But that's in the fourth house. These people probably have difficulties keeping a house straight. I mean, they probably knocked out windows, busted walls every time they get upset. This is how they live, or they probably have swords on their walls and whatnot. You know, guns maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody from the NRA had this combination. Going on, the fifth house. Now, most astrologers. Oh, I'm so sorry. I've passed 10 minutes. I need to quit this video and I'll start again in the third video. Thank you for watching. I'll talk about more about the fifth house, fifth heaven in the next video. Thank you.